search
Oh,
and
yeah.
graduate school applications.
Yeah, this is Career Coach 101 here.
Yeah.
This is like you were in it.
It's important to know that you can use those skills and not only use those, but a tip is that you can put that on your resume.
So having that connection to yourself and to your family.
Hello and welcome to Career View Mirror. I'm your host, Joyel Crawford, and today's very special guest is calling in from Singapore. Oh my goodness, all over. We're in a totally another time zone. It's already evening where my guest is from. She is Chuen Chuen Yeo. She's the founder of Acesence, and she is the author of 8 Paradoxes of Agility. We're also colleagues in the Forbes Coaches Council, and that's how we met. So she is also a leadership champion and a fabulous entrepreneur, and I'm really, really, really excited to have you on the show, Chuen Chuen. Welcome to Career View Mirror.
Very happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me to be on this show.
I am so excited about talking more about your story, because everyone has a different career story. How did yours get started? How would you specifically describe your career, and how did you get involved into it? Like, how did you just jump into founding your own business?
Right. As I hear your question, I'm smiling to myself. I think I really fell into it, literally fell into it. I was a teacher for 14 years, a public servant, before I made the switch. But there was like 5 to 6 years of my life where I was constantly toying with the idea of what else can I do other than teaching. I was good in my role, but at the same time, as you gain competency, confidence, and then you start getting maybe a little bored and you're wondering, okay, where else can I make that impact? And I chanced upon this field of leadership development and starting my personal journey with John Maxwell, such a charismatic leader. Oh my gosh, I think he really changed my life. Yes. And I wondered, can I be somebody like that, and grow leaders, like you say, we grow leaders as an occupation. Mm-hmm. And I think it's through that spirit of lifelong learning, I started taking up professional coaching courses, exploring where my strengths were, starting working with, many people from around the world. I started coaching the UN first. Wow. And that got me really happy because the results were great, quite unexpectedly, and that gave me more and more confidence to pursue this path.
That's fantastic. Now, how did you, from entrepreneur to entrepreneur, finding and sourcing clients is always a challenge. How did you land the UN gig? That is amazing.
Wow, there are always groups out there that are willing to offer their services to the humanitarian group. So I think there's a lot of networking, yes, letting people know what you do, what you can offer. And there will be people who, because I'm a budding entrepreneur or a budding professional coach, and there are people who are willing to, let's give her a go and see how things go. And I think then it's that due diligence to make sure that I deliver the results. I help clients deliver the results. But I think it requires that first step first to go out there and tell people what is my unique value proposition and what I really want to do.
So it's about networking and sharing what you do, what makes you special, and how you can help them deliver results. So it's all about really talking about yourself yes, in a positive way, branding yourself yes, so that you can get those clients. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I think exactly, the self-promotion skills, mm-hmm, and the personal branding. I think these two are the key pillars of running this business.
Oh, I definitely agree with you. And a lot of times people call those soft skills, but I heard last week from a speaker that I was listening to, she called them power skills. And I really like that definition of what that is, really being able to network and again, bring about what you have in a way that really makes you shine. Standing in your power really is a powerful skill to have and hone. What would you say, and I know this is totally off script from what we had decided to talk about, what would you say is the best way to practice your power skills?
I think soft skills, definitely, they are not soft at all. No. Right? I think sorting yourself out is really important. Know who you are, what your values, what makes you tick, what are your strengths, what is it that you can do uniquely that nobody else in the world could do. I think once that is clear, then it's much easier to articulate a personal brand, because I think like people like us, it's all about personality.
Yes.
And how do you have personality when you don't know yourself well and be confident and you like yourself?
Right.
So I think that's really important. To me, it's about the values and knowing your strengths. I mean, if I quote, there's another coach in Forbes Coaches Council. We connected through that as well. His name is John Hitler. He has a process called the Genius Talent Discovery Process. And through his process, I really found my genius talent. And I think that really helped me as well.
That's fantastic. So always searching for ways to assess your talent and your values so that you can understand them better is also a way to find that out. And once you know what your values are, I always talk about and coach clients to keep those values close, keep them nearby. Like if there's a way that you can put them pictorially or visibly there so that you can remember the values that you bring to the table, that will be a good reminder to keep your power skills strong. Fantastic. All right. And I love the way that you're promoting others, but I want to make sure we promote you as well. You wrote the 8 paradoxes of agility. And I wanted to ask, why is agility so important to leaders?
Right. So, well, leadership agility, it really talks about the mindset. And why is it important? I think when the pandemic hit the world, everyone's affected. And all the transformation efforts, I think everything is accelerated. So we are seeing a lot more disruption. We are seeing a lot more of what used to be right are no longer right. I know there's no easy way to find the right answer. I think everyone is trying to find the right way, the way of working right now, and something that could sustain the business. Plus, at the same time, there's the constant threat of, emerging numbers from the pandemic, the multi-generational workforce, lots of tech tools, and all the different ways of working, be it from home or in a hybrid fashion. So I think the agile mindset, I think first up, it really helps leaders be resilient. A lot of leaders say this to me, like, oh, Chuen Chuen, I'm struggling, but I need to keep the show. The show must go on.
Yes.
How am I going to do that when I myself, I'm flailing in the air, or I'm drowning?
Yes.
How do I get a sense of things and inspire confidence in my team if I myself am not okay with it? And I think it starts with the mindset. When we are resistant to change, or if we expect things to go back to normal, or we expect that this is how we've been doing things, this is how we've been doing business for the last 5-10 years, this is exactly how I'm going to continue delivering my products or connecting with my customers, then I don't want them to make any changes at all. Then I think it will be a disaster, because then the leaders can't make the right changes. So to me, a lot of all these well-being or business success, it starts from the mindset. And that's why the agile mindset is so important, because we need leaders to courageously look at the reality and do the course correction immediately to reduce time being wasted.
And I think, and thank you for sharing that, because I am like wanting to preach into the choir. I'm like, amen, Chuen Chuen. I truly believe that in change management, as we are leading our teams through change, that you have to go through the change first. You have to embrace it first, and then you're able to share it with others. And it's so imperative that you do that as quickly as you can, as holistically as you can, as you're saying, so that you can push yourself and your teams forward through these unchanging, well, I was going to say ever changing and unpredictable times that we have right now. So I know in the book that you talk about the RE4 model, and that's your secret sauce. That's how you can help manage and maintain your agile mindset. Can you briefly share how this makes us more agile?
Sure. So the RE4 coaching model has 4 steps. So redoing something 4 times. So the first one reconstructs the map. And that's what we talked about earlier when I said we need to do a courageous scan of what reality is. Are my old solutions or existing solutions still going to make sense? Is it going to work for my teams right now? So I think that's reconstructing the map. Because a lot of times, I think when I work with leaders, what I've noticed is that it's not that they are not resourceful. It's not that they are not smart. They know the solutions. They are highly qualified people to lead teams. The only issue is the way that they are looking at reality is hindering them. Their response to the situation is outdated. That's why reconstruct the map is so important. The second step is refresh the lens, and I explain lenses like filters,
Yes.
your biases, and your, so I think all these filters, it clouds your judgment. So step 1 and 2 works hand in hand all the time, because as we are talking with leaders, we realize that they do have biases, generalizations that no longer serve them. Like for example, if I say all employees must return to the office, but the office is not a safe place to be, and they have the thinking that only when employees are right in front of me, then I know that they are working, then that is a generalization that doesn't work anymore. You just can't make it happen. So we have to refresh that. It's kind of like taking your foggy lenses and wiping it and making you should have a really clear view and a mindset, a perspective that serves you well and gets you the results. The third step then is about having a metaphor. So it's like just earlier when you said, when you know your values, when you know your strengths, how do you find something as an anchor to remind yourself? So I call it renew the identity.
Renew
the
identity.
Yeah. And one of the greatest shifts that I see in my clients is, if I'm a leader and I see myself as the commander charging in front, then it will be a very, very stressful situation, because I might not know what the answer is, and I have to do course correction a lot. But what if I say now, as a leader, my role is to be the facilitator or the cheerleader on the sideline, and I'm going to empower my best people to do what they are hired to do, to figure out what's the way forward. And I think that takes a lot of the stress away. So renew the lens, renew the identity, sorry. And the final stage then is to rebuild the capabilities. You notice that we only talk about skills at the end. We talk about everything to help you prepare to embrace a new mindset, because skills will come naturally after that. There's so many times where we learn something good, but we never get to use it. Why? And that's because of mindset, right?
Exactly.
So it's like setting that groundwork for people to really use these skills. Now, what are the skills I need to be able to do a good job right now? So I think in the first 3 stages, leaders will be able to look at what the real gaps are, and then it's much easier for them to know, okay, now maybe for me it's about learning coaching skills as a manager. Maybe it's about becoming a visionary, charismatic leader, because I need to always engage my people during town halls, explain to them what are the changes, why are we making them, and how I appreciate them. Something that's aligned with the vision, mission. So that's how it works.
That is fantastic. I love that, because it's, like you said, the first 3 steps focus on taking a step back, or I like to say taking a pause for the cause, and looking at how you can reframe and readjust your perspective, your reaction, and how to prepare your teams to manage through these different changes. And then let's use those tools that we have to rebuild and renew and move forward. So I really love these steps for agility, and they're easy to do, because you need to have steps for agility that are easy to do and quick to execute. So I think these are fantastic steps and resources that anyone can use, even no matter whether you're a new leader or an experienced leader, because we all can use room to grow and raise the bar, right? Fantastic.
Especially with the current situation, I think you kind of, the playing field has been leveled off slightly. So it doesn't matter whether you are young or you're matured. I think everyone's more or less the same right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like kind of like a reset button. So, like you said, the playing field is level. And so that's the way it needs to work. Now, tell me a little bit more, going back to your career story. You said you learned from John Maxwell, which is amazing. Like I would have been completely starstruck. So did you get certified? Did you go to school to learn consulting and leadership development coaching?
Yes, absolutely. So with John's program, we just call him John. He's like a friend, dear
Wow.
friend.
Okay.
Seriously, I mean, there's so many leadership teachings that I gained from his program back in 2013.
Hmm.
2013, and
Wow.
transformational, seriously. But that's only the first program that I embarked on. But I think that really lay a strong foundation for the personal mastery for the kind of transformation I personally went through. So I went through many, many, many different programs in the Master Goldsmith program, 2 different coaching schools, and most recently the Gallup Strengths Coaching certification. I am on the ICF track, the International Coaching Federation track, and coaching is my main offer, and that's where I do best in.
Hmm.
I think for coaches out there, might not be ICF coaches, and that's okay because there are different schools of thought. It's just that
Right.
at that time when I was
Yeah.
choosing in
You got
Asia,
it. Yep.
we only had ICF, which was the biggest one, and I thought, well, with the guidelines, it was easier for me to measure if I was, gaining confidence, if I was good at what I did. There was also a nice support network, and everyone speaks the same language. So I
Right.
think having that tribe to help me grow was really important as well. So, but I guess also a different cultures will have a different development path. Like I went through the certified agile coaching, but not everyone will do that. And there are so many different schools of thought where coaching is concerned, and they still all fall under the ICF. Like could it be Enneagram, NLP, appreciative inquiry, so many types. To me, it's more about finding something that really suits your natural talent and
Yes.
your values. Like I'm a thinker by profile. So the next one I'm going to do is definitely neuro leadership.
Ah,
Is-
yes.
yeah. So by David Rock. So that one I'm like really looking forward to it. So I
Oh,
think the learning never stops.
it's a constant learning experience. You're always like you're a professional learner as well as coaching others to learn how to be better in their leadership development. So what's one, and as a coach, and you said it very well, that there's tons of different tracks that you can use. I'm not I wasn't certified in ICF, but we learned the values, the certifying agency, the Professional Association of Professional Association of Resume Writers and Career Coaches. We follow the same values and tenets of ICF. So we're speaking the same language as well, but there's so many different coaching programs out there. And you put it very well about just following what your interests are. It's very, very overwhelming if you want to become a coach. What would you say is one myth that you'd like to dispel about coaches out there? I know one myth that but we could talk for hours about that. But what's one myth that you would love to dispel about the coaching world out there?
Well, I think, can I do 2?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, okay, let's do the first one first and see how it goes. I think the first one is if I get certified, then I'm a great coach. And I think that is really incorrect. Saying, like I meet so many people right now. LinkedIn is my platform, where I connect with many. And some of them will ask me, okay, Chuen Chuen, recommend me some coaching course. Cheapest, fastest,
Yes.
such that I can get a certification. And there I have to stop them immediately. I said, no, look. If you are after a piece of paper, there are a few options that you can go for. But what do you really want beyond that piece of certificate?
Yes.
Is it really growing leaders like you and I do?
Mhm.
Is it about helping people find, transformation or a new mindset or better relationships or what? Because competency and certification are completely different, two different tracks. After say 5 days, 10 days, or 6 months, 1.5 years of curriculum, of learning, of practice, you still need to continue to hone your skills. Like Stephen Covey says, sharpen the saw.
Yep.
Practice with many, many different clients, reflect, look out for, the moments where you were at your best. What were the questions that you asked? How were you as a coach? What was the coaching presence? And I think those are the parts that distinguish coaches who are excellent from those who stagnate at a certain level. I think it was also important. I think another myth is we can do it alone.
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think we can, Well, I mean, in coaching, that's probably a separate discussion. I leveraged a lot on my peer coaches and my mentor coaches.
Absolutely.
Golden nuggets here and there, right? And I think as an entrepreneur, definitely so much more that I have to learn. Coming from a public servant background, I had zero understanding of marketing, business development. I only knew the operations really well, but I think marketing and BD are those that really accelerated the business. So you definitely have to learn from somebody.
Yes.
And I think then the key is, how do you build relationships with people, genuine ones, sincere ones, such that they are willing to mentor you? Because not everything can be learned in a classroom.
Absolutely. Right? I agree with you 100%.
Correct. And we don't have that much time. So I think, how do you find the accelerator path, which is to learn through somebody else's experience? But the key is, how do you build a relationship so that they are willing to lend you a hand?
Yes. And it's so important to foster that relationship, Chuen Chuen. I think, when and all of those things make sense. You can't do it alone. It's not about cheaper and faster. It's about the why behind the what. Where is your passion part? Where are your what do you value? And then following that, so that you're constantly, again, sharpening your saw, being a constant learner. But yeah, I can't say it enough about how important it is to leverage the knowledge of others that have come before you or are still doing it as well. Because it can be very lonely being a solopreneur. It can, and especially now, as isolating as things are, where you can't really get out and shake hands, and I don't even know if I want to shake hands now once we are able to go out and socialize. But just the in-person connection, but keeping those mentorship and sponsorship relationships warm on a regular basis is important. Not just going to that mentor, getting the information, and just leaving like a hit and run accident.
Yeah, absolutely. So I emphasize a lot on being genuine, and it's always a two-way relationship.
Yes.
Right. Somebody lends you a hand. Now, when is your turn to stretch the hand out and pull somebody up? How do you make it an ecosystem where people are collaborating and sharing? Because there's only so much you can do if you have the scarcity mindset that, I'm not gonna tell you this, that's my trade secret. No. I think it's like, there's enough business for everyone. Collaboration is key. And exactly, even this platform that you have also generously offered, and shared. This is a win-win for everyone, and it benefits listeners, listening to people who have explored careers that are unlikely, or the most impossible career transitions. So much value here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I say this all the time, and it's like something that I've actually put on the Coaches Council a couple of times, is that if you enter every interaction with collaboration and support, everyone's always going to win. It's going to attract versus detract. You're even in networking, interviewing, coaching, when you're working with other teams and trying to build them up, that intention of collaboration and support, that energy is always going to serve everyone, and everyone benefits from it. I know that we're running out of time, but oh my goodness, we could talk for like a whole nother, maybe we should just have you come back again. And so we can We can have another chat because I know it's late and I don't want to take up your evening so much, but one of my favorite questions, I cannot let you leave without answering this question, is if you could share one or two career or leadership tips with the younger Chuen Chuen, you know, what would they be?
I think the first one is, okay, I think you probably won't believe this. I was a very timid girl as a child. Timid. I won't say anything. I just want to disappear, find the hole and just, cover myself, hide inside. So I was like that. I was afraid of making an opinion, speaking up. But this journey of becoming an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, I think really toughen me up, that I have to speak with my own voice.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of, because a lot of fears are just in our minds.
Yes.
It's not real. Reconstruct the map is not real. And many times, so many times I tried something that I thought, oh, it won't happen. Oh, this person won't be coached by me. They wouldn't want like a young coach like me, But I was proven wrong so many times.
Yes.
And so I think don't be afraid, be bold, because you never know until you try it. And so many of us, we kill off the dream before it even happened.
Yes. Yes.
Right? That's too soon, way too soon.
I think that's great advice for young Chuen Chuen and for anyone else that's listening. Be bold. Don't hide your power and your shine. Don't dull your shine. And it's important to just step out. You never know unless you ask. I love this advice. Love it, love it, love it. And I've enjoyed you so much on the show. And like I said, I hope that I see you again soon and that we continue this wonderful relationship that we've continued to foster through the Forbes Coaches Council, which is a wonderful organization for networking. And I'm again, everyone, keep your eye out for Chuen Chuen's advice. Go and get her book like yesterday, The 8 Paradoxes of Agility. And thank you again, Chuen Chuen Yeo, for coming here. She's the founder of Acesence and the author of 8 Paradoxes of Agility. And I will be putting all of the information about where to find her book, where to learn more about Acesence and Chuen Chuen. So we will see you all later. If you enjoyed this show, subscribe. Again, share it with your friends and your family and anyone else who may find this of value. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show, let me know. Reach out and contact me. I'd be happy to hear what you have to share. Thank you all for watching and listening to Career View Mirror, and I will see you next time.